if something was not going in a pleasant mode, there would be a lot of tensing up and stuff like that. I don't think you're going to lie about that.
The last line, Colleen, listen to this, because it doesn't even make sense, but I'll tell you what I think he's trying to say here.
Okay.
Listen to this last line of this particular statement. It is only humanely for a woman to not excel in giving a blowjob. And I think what he's trying to say is if she doesn't excel, it's only humane to not tell her or to lie.
So,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
But it's just, it doesn't even make sense. The sentence doesn't even make sense.
Someone put that through Google Translate.
I think so.
Oh.
I know, right? Okay, the next lie, according to this East Indian author, it's been ages since I self-satisfied, which no American guy would say that. They would say it's been years since I've yanked off or done, they'd say something like that, right?
They don't even say it because no one's going to believe it. No one's ever said this. Not a million. It's not even said. Maybe someone's just coming up with something. They have to go through there. Yeah, no. No. Maybe I just have very, very, very truthful friends because we've known each other for a zillion years now. If there's anything we don't talk about or joke about or there's that, but it's all based in reality.
Oh yeah. Well, I got so tickled because once again, by the time this one was number 4 on the list of 7, by the time I got to number 4, I'm reading it in my head with an Indian accent. Okay. So it's getting more and more entertaining for me. He says, now seriously, should we believe this one? And you can bet every single penny you have that every man self-satisfies several times a week. And I mean, it just goes through.
It would be a day for God's sakes. I mean,
right.
I do like self-satisfy though.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a pleasant way to put it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, number 5 slayed me. Like I was giggling my butt off when I was the only one at home and the dogs were looking at me like, seriously? I love the way you taste, okay, is the one. Now, he says, we are sure that he likes getting intimate and going down on you, but no, he doesn't like your taste. Women obviously do not come with flavored taste down there. It is any strawberry or chocolate sauce down there. It just goes on and on about no. If he told you that he's loved your taste, he's just being nice. But it's the way he's written it. You've got to read it, Colleen. It's hysterical.
No, I think someone took a look at a GQ article and then redid it. Because I mean, honestly, this sounds like some of the crap that Men's Health. Men's Health has always has some sort of sex quiz or there's a whole bunch of stuff in the back. Actually, I was getting speaking of print magazines, I was getting that in Cosmo because they all have a sex section in the back. And so it's nice to know what people coming in like I read about this or I saw this, whether it was online or not. It just and I'm just like, no, this sounds like a rehash of like of an older Men's Health article.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Well,
I mean, honestly, I don't think there'd be a flavored lube if it wasn't for oral sex. I mean, so either way.
Yeah. Why would you? Yeah. Right. Good point. Well, the last one struck me funny as well. This has never happened to me before. And now he says, and he starts a sentence. Now men use this as an escape route from something embarrassing on bed. On bed.
On bed. Well, yeah, well, it could be on bed or on a sofa and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, that hits to the most primal ego of a guy. I mean, so that's probably the only thing in the article that actually makes sense.
Well, then he goes,
because nobody is going through there because, I mean, I don't have the parts, but I'm assuming if something didn't, work on me, and you're with a different person, because if you're with the same person, they're going to know whether it happened or not.
Good point.
It only works once, or it doesn't work once. How do I want to phrase that?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, and then the next sentence, again, this is worth reading just for the poorly constructed sentence. If he says this after a failed erection or bad move on bed, you know he isn't being truthful about this being first time. Just saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it may only be truthful once and then we'll go on from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, you found something really cool. You found the Senior's Guide to Sex Toys.
Well, actually, the New Jersey store found it.
Oh, they did.
Stuff
okay.
like that.
Yeah.
And I was looking through this, and we're not gonna post the whole article because there's a lot.
It's very long.
Yeah, it's very long. There's links to other places and a whole bunch of other stuff in there. But what I thought was fascinating about it is that I've got a lot of customers. I mean, okay, we started in 1980, and I had customers that were 30 then, and now these same people are shopping with us, and they're So, they're in the 70s.
Yeah.
And they're still shopping with us. I mean, it's going through there. And it's been more popular. So I'm not really sure to some extent how many folks in their 60s or 70s are unfamiliar with the concept. Mm-hmm. But if there are, I saw this because you definitely need more stimulation to get aroused, and you might need more time for an orgasm. And and if you do have aches and pains, you have to think differently about how you hold a toy, how it's working, whether you need more lubrication. In fact, we are getting some more toys with bent handles that are easier to hold with arthritic wrist and elbows and stuff like that. And we found for years, there was an article about, do you want a vibrator that's shaped like a penis or not shaped like a penis? And that's been something that's been going on for decades. That
sure.
It's if you're on your own, a lot of folks just like the idea of form and function sort of going together. It doesn't need to be penis shaped. Or if you're still with a partner, if it's penis shaped, it can be threatening, like a replacement. And so, but it was really nice because I'm like, okay, once again, it's been, I've been aware of sex toys since, like my parents bought the store, even though I wasn't in the store until I was 18.
Yeah.
And I thought this was really nice because it's like, it gives you information of any age of what's going through, because you want to know what the materials are, how it feels. You want to know how you're going to use it. Is you're going to use it outer stimulation, inner stimulation. So no matter what your age, it's a nice refresher on, to have an idea of how do you think you're going to use your vibrator.
Yeah. And you made a comment, and I saw this too when I read it, Colleen. It talks about, what to use if you have an arthritic wrist. You could just as easily say, because that sounds old, right? But there's a lot of people that have carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean old. You could get that in your 20s. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I would say that this is for, I think this is a good article for everybody, actually.
Yeah,
Don't you?
Yeah. When I was flipping through it, so we're going to, I'll obviously I will credit the author, but we're going to put the pertinent stuff on there and leave, some of the other stuff, out.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's just, because some of they do mention some toys that we don't carry, so we'll put the appropriate ones in and stuff like that match.
Kind of like,
but,
okay.
Yeah, but it would just, but they have stuff for female bodies and male bodies, so different questions. This is one that, make sure you know what it works. Well, this is why we have samples in the store, and we'll have someone take it out and take a look at it and turn on it so you know what's going on. But it was more of a really good article on questions you need to ask yourself before you go in, or in the fact that it's completely and utterly ordinary.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of the word normal because people have different notes, but it is fairly ordinary to go through a lot of these, issues. And they're when it comes to mobility or lubrication or joint pain of any age, or knowing how you want to use it. And I thought it was a really nice, sort of a primer.
Yeah.
If you're honestly going, well, or maybe if you even want to do something new and you're not sure. It's a good checklist.
Yeah, I thought so too. So I found another article about the 6 best sex positions to use sex toys in, and I shot that over to you. We'll put this up there. And I wanted you to kind of run through and lead this. And tell me what you think of this whole thing, because this was, I don't know, different. I haven't seen one quite like this. I was going where to start.
And I'm going to, it's gone through. I'll just list them right here, and then I can go back to them. You got your standard. This is more of a heterosexual list here.
Okay.
So we'll start there. You've got your missionary position, side spooning, something they call multitasker. That's the one that really, the water rocker, doggy, and what's that one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and it's on the bottom here. Silly printer. And something called the hot seat.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go right to the one that's called the multitasker position.
Okay.
It's in the middle here. And it says, this one is a lot of fun. Make your man lay down on his back, and you should be on top. Use your vibrator on him. Start from his shoulders. Go towards his chest. Blah, 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 blah. Then use it on your personal part. Then go and do a blowjob. And then use it on your vagina while you're still doing a blowjob. This is the reason it's called a multitasker. This is about as functional. There might be some couples out there that can manage 69, but it's too distracting. Do you want someone distracted while they're like,
no.
So no.
Never been a fan.
No. You need. Maybe you can like wear a vibrator, or you can hold a vibrator on your clit, or hold it on the testicles or the area. But there might there's folks out there that might be able to do it. For the majority of folks, they're going to read something like this. They're going to think I should be doing something, like we should be doing all this stuff, and you're going to get distracted, and someone's going to get hurt.
Okay.
And some folks might be able to pull up, but don't look at stuff like this when you're reading through this and think that you're doing something wrong. It's like you read this, it's like watching porn and seeing someone just go into anal and don't realize all the work that went into it.
Right.
So that's the first thing that came to mind. I'm like, no. If you want to do, like I said, a vibrator is a good enhancement, and it is nice. If you are, there's the doggy position, which is handy because you can either hold the vibrator, or that your partner can hold the vibrator when you're up on your knees. You can get a little more stimulation. It just. That one's, it's a perfect, or if the gentleman's wearing a cock ring, and, you can get some vibrations in between during anal or vaginal sex, that makes sense. But it still has to do with what's going through there, and that is two things at once. It's a way to use your hands free. And it's good. And then the same thing that happens with like side spooning. Depending on the size of your couple, you've got all sorts of angles that you're working with. So if you're trying to hold yourself up, yes, I sell sex toys in my stores, and they're used during sex. But when you're looking at some of this, it assumes a lot of things that you're not propping yourself up on one elbow, that you're not doing the sort of stuff. So, take a look at it, get you some ideas, use it as inspiration. But there's a lot here that I think.
Don't let it make you feel less than.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It seems, it's sort of like trying to. Looking at like Pinterest of really, really nice cupcakes, and your cupcakes don't look like that, but they still taste good. So take a look. So there's some interesting little thing. Like I said, if you've got the water rocker here, sex is steamier when it's wet.
I disagree completely.
Yeah, well, I'm saying I think use your sex toys in the tub, but I'm not sure during penetration is the way to do it. Combining the two,
it gets rid of all the lube.
It's really great foreplay, and then you get out. Now, other people, maybe they can pull this off, but you're sloshing it over. And really, everybody has their electronics nearby. And if you're like at a resort somewhere that has that big corner tub, and you've by any chance put anything near it, you're going to slosh the hell out of everything.
Well, you know what my fear is? Slipping, the whole body slipping and cracking my head. Yeah, and 911 being called, and I'm naked, and
Eventually, I'm going to get enough. I'm going to ask one of my doctors. I said, everything has a code. What are the sexual injury codes? Because they've got to be there. Because I joke when we do stuff at the office. I said, if this lands on your head, I'm not sure if they have a code for head injury by box of dildos.
Right, you should check it out.
So I need to ask, and so I think this is lovely inspiration.
Yeah,
it might be something that you're going through there, but much like everything, big grain of salt.
Code word cupcake.
Yeah,
that's our new thing.
Yeah, the hot seat one. Oh my God! I actually, my brain hurt trying to figure out how this actually works. Where you're
visualizing, trying to
get something, because once again, depending on the angle and the size of the two people, if you're holding someone on, this is honestly what works here. If you want to, the one thing that makes the most sense in a lot of this stuff are the couples the cock rings that have the vibrating eggs on them, or the WeVibe that you can insert and go through there. There's things that are made that are hands free. Because I know very few people, even in, missionary position, where you're not propped up or you're trying to figure out what works best for you. But then again, that's the one I would like to say. If someone's in missionary position, the woman's hands are generally free. And so using a vibrator on both folks is probably the easiest out of the 6 here.
Okay.
And honestly, that would work for, depending on how you're doing it, for non-heterosexual couples too.
Yeah.
And the same with the